Anthropic didn't plan to tell us about this. Last week, nearly 3,000 internal files were left completely open to the public. They had no login, no password, and anyone could see them. Buried inside those files was the next AI model. One, they said, quote, by far the most powerful AI we've ever built. They're calling it Mythos, and the reason they're not releasing it to you and I is actually the most interesting part of the story. So, what actually happened? And what does Mythos actually do that makes it so different from anything else Anthropic has built before? Let's get into it. Here's what we know. On the 26th of March, investigative journalists at Fortune discovered that Anthropic had left a public data cache completely unsecured. This is essentially a staging folder, a place where companies used to store assets before they're ready to publish them publicly. The problem was that Anthropic forgot to lock it. Inside those folders were nearly 3,000 files, draft blog posts, internal documents, unreleased announcements, and one of those drafts described a model that hasn't been officially announced anywhere. The model name, Claude Mythos. Internal code name, Capybara. Now, if you follow AI at all, you'll know that Anthropic current lineup goes up to Claude Opus. That's the most powerful, publicly available model right now. Mythos isn't a replacement for Opus, and it's not the next version of Opus. It's an entirely new tier, something above and beyond what they've released until now. And we know this because Anthropic's own draft document described it in those exact terms. This is not a rumor, and no, the leak did not come from disgruntled employees. This was Anthropic's own word in their own document, citing in a publicly accessible folder for everyone to find. So, what can it actually do? This is where it gets genuinely significant. In Anthropic's internal documents, Mythos is benchmarked directly against their current flagship, Claude Opus 4.6, and the gap is significant. In academic reasoning, Mythos is substantially ahead. In complex coding tasks, it's ahead. In multi-step problem solving, again, it's ahead. There is, however, one benchmark category that stood out above everything else, and that's the reason Mythos isn't available to the public right now. Cybersecurity. According to Anthropic's own internal assessment, Mythos is capable of autonomously executing cyber attacks at level that current malware protection no cybersecurity teams could defend against. These are Anthropic's description of their own model. Think about what that means for a moment. Every organization, every business, every hospital, every government relies on cybersecurity teams to detect and respond to attacks. Speed is everything in cybersecurity. The faster an attacker moves, the less time you have to contain it. Mythos, according to these documents, can operate at the speed that removes that window entirely. Now, before we go any further, let's be clear. Anthropic is not releasing this model to hackers. But the concern is that the model is so capable that once it's out there in the public, it could be accessed and used in ways the creators did not intend. And Anthropic knows it, which is why they've made a very specific decision about who gets access to Mythos first. Mythos is not being released publicly, at least not yet. Instead, Anthropic is running a controlled release, specifically targeted at cybersecurity organizations. The logic here is actually sound. If a model can enable advanced cyber attacks, the best people to have early access to it are the people defending against those attacks. Give the defenders the same tool the attackers might eventually get. But there's something else happening behind the scenes that you need to know about too. Anthropic is privately briefing government officials. Of course, they're not issuing any press release nor doing any interviews about this, but they're having private conversations with lawmakers and policy advisors, warning them that Mythos-level capabilities make large-scale cybersecurity attacks significantly more likely in 2026. And it raises the question that everyone in the AI industry seems to be running away from. At what point does a model become too capable to release at all? Here's why this matters beyond just the headlines we see every day. Anthropic's accidental leak has told us something the industry rarely admits openly. The frontier of AI capability is moving faster than the public release schedule. The models you and I are using today, so your ChatGPT 4.0, your Claude Opus, or Gemini Ultra, those are not cutting edge. They are the cutting edge that have been deemed safe enough to release. Mythos is what the cutting edge actually looks like right now. And if Anthropic is already building models they consider too dangerous for general access, the question we should all be asking is, where does it all stop? Mythos doesn't have a public release date yet. Anthropic hasn't officially confirmed anything because technically none of this was supposed to be public. But it's out there now, and this channel will be the first to cover it the moment anything changes. If you want to stay ahead of what's actually happening in AI, not just what companies decide to announce, subscribe, hit the notification bell, because the next update on Mythos will matter. I'm Florent, and I'll see you on the next one.